Hi everyone, and welcome to the third and extremely exciting video on the CAD assembly of the wooden stand. So here again is the picture of the wooden stand we're assembling in the Onshape CAD program. And in the first video, we drew that leg, which is identical to that one. And we drew that one, but I put the holes on the wrong side. So in the second video, we started by moving the holes from the shorter cross-sectional area to the wider area, the wider dimension here, the surface with the wider dimension, the 1 inch dimension, right? And then in the second video, we drew this piece here, and that is identical to 4 other pieces. So those 3 are identical to those 2, and I'm almost sure of that. I'm going to double check that when I get back to the lab on Monday, but I do believe so. And if not, we'll make any slight adjustments we have to on that front. And we drew these 2 blocks too, those little 3.5-inch spacer blocks. We drew those as well. Now we're moving into the upper assembly. This piece, these 2, that piece, and we're just not going to do that top piece there. Right, we're going up through this piece here. And so let's go draw these one. We only have to draw one of these again because those 2 are identical to each other. We'll import once we draw one, and once we get to the assembly, we'll import. It will just import that same piece twice. So we'll have them there, and we'll draw that piece too. Okay, so let's start with this piece here. Now I do have a picture right about here of the whole upper assembly. And there's the angled piece right there. It's got an angled cut in it. It's hard to see because of the clamp pieces that are over it, but we'll see it in a second. And so let's draw this piece here. Right, and so we have pictures of it right about here. It has a shorter edge. So the shorter edge is 7.5 inches long. And the longer edge is 8 inches long. 8 inches long. And the holes are 1.25 in from the sides, from the edges. 1.25 in from the edge. 1.25 in from the edge. Okay, so let's go draw that right now. 8 inches long, but half inch shorter on the shorter dimension. Oh, and we're gonna have to fudge this part a little bit. That is a little straight piece there. It doesn't go corner down. There's a little flat piece there, maybe about 1/8 of an inch. I don't have that measurement, but I'm going to call it 1/8 across, right, like that. Okay, so off we go to Onshape. Let's create a new part studio. And let's rename it something that makes sense, such as angled cut piece. Or some such, whatever makes sense to you to help you keep it straight. Okay, let's choose a plane to draw on and sketch on that front plane there. And we'll start off by doing what we do, which is 3/4 by 1. Right, so a little piece of wood with cross-sectional area of 3/4 of an inch by 1 inch. There's the cross-section of the wood. We can finish that up, click on it, and extrude it to the full length of 8 inches. 8 IN, and accept. Okay, so there's the piece itself. We just have to make that cut. I'm gonna look right at it, and I'm gonna draw right on this face. So I'm gonna choose the face. I'm gonna hit sketch, and move this out of my way a little bit here. Okay, so we need, if we just drew like a triangle here, we could cut that right out and extrude it out. But we want to be able to move it, and we're going to need to insert some geometries to be able to dimension that cut. So let's not just eyeball it. Let's put some lines in there. And the first line I will put in, we'll do construction lines, right? So construction lines to help us reference where to make that cut. Well, we're going to make sure it's vertical here. There's vertical and line to edge, vertical construction line, and then hit escape. Go to your dimension tool, and we want this line to be 1/2 inch from the edge. Right, 1/2 inch. Interesting, it shows a point way out there, so I'm going to escape out of there. Maybe I'll dimension tool. I'm going to choose that dot to there. That's better. 1/2 inch. 0.5. Okay, so there's now that construction line is 1/2 inch in. I'm also gonna, I want that little 1/8 inch flat spot there. So I think I'll do another construction line, and maybe from here, just as long as it's horizontal. I don't think the length matters. And let's choose our dimension tool. And let's move this line here to within 1/8 of an inch of the top. Okay, good. So those are just there for reference. I want to make a cut right through those two. Okay, so I think the next step is choose our line tool and just draw a big old line right about there, anywhere. And we'll use our coincident constraint to make this line coincident with that dot and make that line also coincident with that point. There we go. And back to the line tool. Now let's just close off this geometry so we can make our cut. Just close that off. Any old shape, doesn't matter. And accept that sketch. Now we're just going to cut that part. You can just choose that little triangle there and hit extrude. Remove material. And 1 inch should do it. Let's see, is that where we're at? 1 inch will do it. Yeah, 1 inch will do it because it's only 3/4 thick. Yeah, that'll be fine. All right, so let's accept that. Well, there it is. Look at that. Now, I think I said the holes are 1 1/4 in. Let's double check that. I think I said the holes are, yeah, 7 to 8 1/4. So the holes are 1 1/4 inches in. So we've been through this before. Let's look right at that side and choose that face and sketch on it. And let's draw a little hole. Let's draw some circles. There's one, and let's 0.25 inches. And we'll do another one. While we have the circle tool open, might as well just put another one right there. 0.25 inches. Oops, I didn't close, sorry. Click. Now 0.25 inches. Now they're the right size, but they're not in the right place. So we choose our dimension tool. And we, let's see, this is the 1 inch face, right? So the center of this dot to that edge will be 1/2 an inch. 0.5. And from the center of this dot to the edge is 1 1/4 inches. So 1.25 inches, 1.25. Now that hole will be in the right place, and we have to do the same thing over here. Center it, 1/2 an inch, 0.5 from either edge. That'll be the center. And I wonder if this will work. From here to here, oh good, yes, that's a horizontal dimension. We don't want so don't do the angle because that'll be some weird dimension. Make sure it's vertical like that, and that'll give you that horizontal dimension of 1.25 inches. Okay, so now that's in the right spot. We will accept that sketch, and we will choose the circle. Remember, the whole thing has to light up. Sometimes you click on the edge and just the edge lights up. That's not what we're after. Want the whole thing to light up just like that. And over here, same thing. Now we just have to extrude cut those. So extrusion, remove material. It's going to make it all the way through. It's a 1 inch extrusion by default, and it's only 3/4 thick, so we don't have to do anything there. There, we just did that piece. Now let's go to those two little pieces that hold this piece to that piece. Well, so I don't know, we'll call these short clamp pieces or something like that. Those short little clamp pieces should be quick to draw if we can find the picture easily. So let's go to, I'm just working right from the pictures. You may be working from your list. That looks like one of them right there, right? That's one of them. Pictures aren't in the exact order, but yeah, right after here comes the short piece. There's the hole location, and there's the length. So right off the bat, I think the hole is 1/2 an inch in. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, I tried to, even though the camera's at a slight angle, I was careful to put this ruler right over the center of the hole, and you can tell the camera's at a slight angle, but that's okay. That's 1/2 an inch. And if it's not, it's awfully close to that. So 1/2 an inch it is. Let's find, so 1/2 an inch in are the holes. Let's find out the length of the thing. Oh, 3.5. So it's really similar to those other blocks. If it was a complex drawing, I would go copy one of those other blocks because we have a 1 by 3/4 by 3.5 inch piece, but there's a hole in the middle of it. I mean, gosh, maybe that would just make it a little bit. It's so easy to draw; it doesn't really matter. Each way is going to be easy. So you could go copy one of these, and then just delete the hole and put the hole in the right spot. Why don't we do that? Because I know you know how to draw it, and so let's just make, in case we ever come across a complex piece we just want to copy and manipulate. Let's just right click on this and duplicate it. And so then it says short vertical pieces, copy one. I'm going to rename that into let's see. So short top assembly, short top assembly piece, short top clamp piece. Anything that keeps it straight in your head is fine. All right, so we renamed it. Let's go into it, and all we have to do is you can mouse over these things and they light up. Right, so let's go delete this extrusion, and the sketch that created it was right here, sketch 2. We'll delete that. And now I've got my block. I don't. It probably would have been just as fast to go draw the thing because these are so easy to draw. But it's a good little tactic in case you've got a more complex piece that would take longer to draw from scratch. This particular piece would probably take about the same amount of time either way. Now, what do we say? 1¼ in? Oh no, we didn't. That was the other thing. ½ inch in, right? Yeah. So from 3 to 3½ is where the hole is. So, we'll take another look at the next one, but I believe it's just ½ inch in. Oops, wrong one. Previous. Yeah, ½ inch in. Those holes are ½ inch in. Back to here, we just need to draw it so those are on the wider face. Those are on the 1-inch face. Don't make that mistake again. And I will sketch on that face. I'm going to look right at it, and I'm just going to draw a couple of circles that are, all these holes are 1/4 inches. So 0.25, enter, and we've been through this before, and another 0. Did I click that one? No, I did not. Click it, and 0.25, enter. There's the size. Now let's put them in the right spots. ½ inch in, centered. Dimension tool. This is a 1-inch wide piece of wood, so this dimension here will be ½ inch. 0.5 inches. And it is, we just said ½ inch down. So from here to here, oops, dimension tool, no, it's on. From here to the edge will also be ½ inch. 0.5 inches. Okay, so that one's in place. Let's center this one. Here to here will be ½ inch. 0.5 inches. And from here to the edge is also ½ inch. 0.5 inches. Those are in the right spot now. Let's accept the sketches. Let's choose the hole so the whole thing lights up yellow. See, I got the edge of that one. That's not right. Oh boy, wait a sec. Right there will do it. And right there should do it. Yep, there we go. Got it. And extrude, remove. 1 inch will do it because it's 3/4 thick. Shazam, I just drew those 2 pieces. Okay, what's left? I think we have one more piece left, right? One more piece. And this piece is easy to identify, and I'll show you why. Let me see if I can find a picture of the upper assembly. This piece has a hole through the wider face, through the 1-inch face, but it's got another hole through the 3/4 inch face that goes this way, right? And it's the only piece of wood, I think. Yeah, it's the only piece of wood with holes in those 2 dimensions, on each face. So let's see if we can find a good picture of that one. Yeah, here it is, right here. That's the thing we're looking at, right? Because there's the hole and there's the other hole, and I can just barely see it. But let's take a look at how long it is. So it looks like this piece is, gosh, I'm not convinced that ruler is centered. It looks like 6.5, 7 inches, but I don't know if that's. Doesn't look like that's quite lined up. Again, it could be a trick of the camera angle, though. Let's see what other pictures we have of this. It's right between 6.5 and 7. I think I'll call that 6.5. Again, it's one of these things that's really easy to fix if we're not right. Right, and that's the other piece. That won't help us. I'm going to call this piece 6.5 inches long. I think, when the camera is kind of right over the center of this thing, and when we look this way, it looks like the edge protrudes beyond. But I don't think I wouldn't have put that ruler just haphazardly, an eighth in or something. I would have put that ruler lined up with the edge. And same trick of the eye is going on over here. I think this piece of wood is 6.5 inches long, and it looks like this hole is 1 inch in, and that hole is 1 inch in also. So this should go really quickly. They're both 1 inch in on different faces though. So 6.5 inches long. Let's just do a new piece. Create Part Studio. Any old plane will do. Top plane. Sketch on it. Hit N for normal to look right at it. And let's draw the cross section of 3/4 by 1. So 3/4 by 1 inch. And that's that. And I think we just said 6.5. We did 6.5. So let's extrude that to 6.5 inches. 6.5 inches. Bam. There's our part. Now let's just put those holes in it. Okay, we'll do these separately because they're on different faces. Have to be 2 sketches here. Sketch on this face. And let's look right at it. Grab your circle tool. Somewhere down in here, it's about, I did not click again, click, so it turns bright blue like that, and that's 0.25 inches, and we said half an inch in, is that what we said here? No, 1 inch in, right? The holes are 1 inch in. That is what we said. 1 inch in, and that hole's about 1 inch in also. Yeah, a full inch in. Let's go back, and so, so we drew a circle. Let's center it. It's on the 1 inch face. So this will be half inch to center it. And we want it to be 1 inch from the edge. So from here to here will be 1 inch. Okay, so that's in the right spot. Let's accept it. Let's choose it so the whole thing lights up. Remove the material. 1 inch will do it because it's only 3/4 thick again, and accept. And there's our first hole. The next hole is going to be on this face here, right about, somewhere right in here. So let's choose that face, sketch on it, hit N to look right at it, grab a circle. It's a 1/4 inch hole, 0.25. And we'll center it. Okay, so let's center it first using our dimension tool. And so center to edge. Well, I do know half of 0.75, but in case I'm being lazy or it's some math that I just don't know right off the top of my head, you can do, Onshape can do simple math for you. It can do more than simple math, but it can certainly do simple math. 0.75 is the full width of this thing, so over 2 will be the center, which is 0.375, of course, but in case you don't know that, there it is. Okay, and it's just got to be 1 inch in from the edge. So our dimension tool is still lit up. Choose a point on the edge, go to the center of the circle. That did not work. Center of the circle to that line there. There we go. And that's just 1 inch. We were pretty close on that one. We're 52 1/1000ths off approximately. Just a slight motion in and accept. Zoom in, try to get on the first try. There we go. Shazam. Remove material. Again, now this is 1 inch thick and it's extruding to 1 inch, so it should go all the way through. And we are done with that piece. Okay, there it is. Okay, so that concludes all the wooden parts. That concludes all the wooden parts. We just drew in this video this piece with the angled cut, those 2 clamp pieces, short 3.5 inch clamp pieces, and then that final vertical member right there has been drawn. In the next exciting video, we will import the hardware, all the fasteners. We'll import all those fasteners. We have CAD drawings of all those already, and we will then assemble it. Okay, excellent work. and I will see you soon.